Hello Internet, this is Whispering Whim. Today I'll be doing a tasting video. I used to do a bunch of munch pack videos, and they were definitely a favorite, right, on my account, my channel. But I'm gonna get married in October, so I started doing kind of a low carb diet and everything, so I had to stop that. Plus, it was getting a little repetitive, right? Well, because of, the awkward shopping situation lately, I've kind of taken a little break from the diet, and I figured now would be a good time to just do a random tasting video. So I ordered off of Amazon a Dagashi variety pack here. Basically, these are Japanese snacks. More specifically, they're kind of like cheap kids snacks. Some of them are sweet, some of them are savory. A few of them I've probably tried before, like this little guy in the corner here is one of those giant Cheeto roll type things. But it looks like there's going to be quite a few interesting things. There's supposed to be 32 snacks in this pack, and it cost me $19, so not too bad for kind of a fun little treat. So anyways, let's break into this thing. So I just barely cut it open, and the packaging kind of smells like Tutti Frutti and Coca-Cola sort of mixed together here. So it has kind of a pleasant kid smell. And let's see here. Our first item is a bottle of sour. And that's what it says in English. And that's got a cute little container. Right? Kind of looks like a little whiskey bottle or maybe a apple sour or something like that. And it's got a little cap on it, and we're just going to give it a go. Well, that's pretty tasty, actually. The apple flavor is a accurate description. It's not very sour. I would say not even sour at all. But a little, I thought it would be kind of grainy like a pixie stick, kind of hard sugar. And it looks like it would be hard sugar, right? But it's kind of fluffy. It's more like a powdered sugar kind of texture, so it dissolves really cleanly in my mouth. And that's pretty good, actually. I want to eat the whole bottle. But I have lots and lots and lots of snacks to try today. I don't think I'll be able to eat all of them. Let's hope I don't eat all of them, right? But we're going to try to get through a fair portion here. And the next up is this little tiny guy. It's definitely small. It looks like a jelly of some sort. There is no English on this one, so no clues as to what it is. The description on Amazon, though, did say that there's no fishy products. That's my biggest concern when I get a Asian treat kit, is that there's going to be like fish snacks and I'm going to get blindsided by the salty brininess of it all, right? But there shouldn't be any, so I'm just gonna try everything, I guess. So, first note, this brown color is Coca-Cola. So that explains the soda smell I got when I first opened my pack. And it is a jelly, so let's bottoms up here. That's not bad. Coca-Cola wouldn't be my choice flavor, but it was nice and smooth, and the texture was right. And I do confess, I really love the Asian jellies. That's kind of like heat stable Jello in a cup, right? It doesn't need to be refrigerated. And I can remember, goodness, it must have been 2-3 years ago now. I bought a pack of them at the Asian market that's here in town, which I don't visit too often because the parking lot's kind of awkward to get into. But maybe that was a good thing that I don't visit it too often, because when I bought this pack of jellies, it was like lychee flavor, and I ended up eating all of them. Like, I don't know, a package maybe this size. I ate all of them on the same day, so maybe it's good that I don't visit that market too often. Now, next up, we have something that looks kind of like Lifesavers in a little strip here. It's got cute little birds to be the description. No English on this one as well. But it does look like the package is kind of sealed well enough that I can save those guys without opening the whole thing here. And maybe this will be mint. Smells more like bubble gum. It's not bubble gum. Well, maybe it is bubble gum. That is that's an interesting flavor. Oh, and they're soft. I love it when I can chew on something. I don't have the best teeth in the world. It's definitely like a bubblegum flavor, but not as minty, more on the fruity side. Which, like traditional bubblegum flavor, has a lot of ingredients in it. Usually it has like mint, clove, banana, apple, just a whole bunch of things. Stereotypical pink bubblegum. I was reading up on, its origins, because I love random facts, right? It's kind of my deal. So one of the random facts was that there was both banana and mint, if you can believe it, in traditional bubblegum flavor. But also, that iconic pink color that bubblegum is? That only exists because the guy who was creating this treat, the food coloring he had most available was red. So he just made the whole batch of bubblegum red, and it just became so iconic that that's what we think of bubblegum. So those are your random facts for the day. We're going to move right along since there are lots and lots of sugary treats to try. Next up is a kind of like, I guess Tic Tacs would be the closest approximation, right? Little candies in a to-go cup type deal. And I'm kind of seeing how we open this. Does the whole thing come off? Maybe. Yeah. Okay. So the lid looked like maybe it would just snap up, but it doesn't. It just kind of sits there. Maybe it would slide. Oh, it might slide. Oh, well. But anyways, we've got some little tiny guys here. And they're not Tic Tacs. They're actually chocolate flavored. Kind of like, what would that be? Sixlets? Did you ever have those? I don't know if that's a very common thing, but I used to get them at Halloween time. Sixlets were like these malt chocolate snacks. Kind of a knockoff treat, but right now it's kind of nostalgic. And since I can't figure out how to reclose my device here, I'm gonna eat a couple more. Have to figure out how to seal that guy later. Next up is this adorable little pack here. I believe this is bubble gum. There's no English on it, yet again. These are very authentic treats, right? Not made for exporting. So it's kind of exciting, actually. You'd think, because I did Munch Pack for, goodness, maybe almost 2 years. I know it was more than one, but maybe it was 1 year and a couple of months. But I've had plenty of opportunity to try Japanese snacks through Munch Pack and through my own. When I go to Asian marks, I'll buy something. And one of my earliest experiences, actually, of having Japanese candy. I always enjoyed Japanese culture and anime and stuff like that. And in my town, that wasn't really, at least back in the 90s, that wasn't a thing you really wanted to advertise. Made you a nerd, right? But anyways, my parents took us to Walt Disney World as kind of a big last treat. We don't normally take extravagant trips like that, but I was in high school and I was going to move on to college, and my family they saved up the money to go. So anyways, Walt Disney World has the Epcot Center, which has all the countries of the world, right? And there's a gift shop for every country of the world to encourage you to spend your money. And they had huge selection, or at least seemed huge to me, right? Of Japanese candies in the Japanese pavilion. And that kind of started my love affair with eating foreign treats, because with the exception of, I think, one of them, they were all just delicious. Anyways, we're here for eating, not for talking. Well, we're here for talking too, but anyways, we'll find out if this is gum or maybe it's another chocolate item. The brown is kind of throwing me off here. So it is indeed bubblegum. And it is another kind of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, generic soda flavor. But it's pretty tasty. And I'm kind of sad that I ate it in the beginning here, because I would want to chew on it for a while. But because Coke is such a distinctive flavor, I feel like it would get in the way of many of our other taste testing here. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to spit this guy out. All right, Coke bubblegum is gone, and I've rinsed my mouth out with some water. But I have to say, so far, I have enjoyed everything in my little pack. Okay, next up, look at this crazy little thing. It kind of looks like a potion bottle, right? And I think this is like a marshmallow. No English on it yet again. Oh yeah, that's definitely marshmallow-like here. So I think you're intended to kind of scoop and slurp this guy out. Hopefully I don't do anything too obscene here. Oh, that's weird. It's like, so it's, It's creamy. You know, it has almost a milky flavor, right? But it's not a marshmallow at all. It's got kind of almost a grainy sugar kind of texture in it. And I don't know what that flavor is. It's kind of like maybe like somewhere between like a sour apple and a marshmallow flavor, if you can imagine it, because it's a little tart, but it also has like, you know, some faux milkness going on. I don't know. It's a weird little candy. But I enjoy it. Let's see here. No, it didn't have like a good lid. It just had a paper lid. It sounds like I'm gonna have a sugar high today, eating all of the opened up candies that can't be closed again. Which means I'll have a sugar crash later on, but that's okay. Next up, we have this little package here. A little happy guy with a tongue going on. And it feels kind of like a gummy to me. So I like gummies when they're not too hard. I used to love all gummies, but my teeth just can't handle it anymore. And that is... what is that? That is a weird smell. I'm just gonna... it looks like it's got a perfect little breaking point there, so we're just gonna try a little bit of this. Okay. So that is actually another piece of gum. And it's kind of like a really sharp tutti frutti, you know, like a generic fruit flavor, but with a bit more citric acid or tartness to it than I would say is average in American fruit flavored gums. But it's really soft and easy to chew, which I love. I love it when gum is easy to chew and it doesn't stick to my teeth. So I'm kind of in love with this stuff. But just like the Coca-Cola gum, we're going to have to get rid of it. I'm going to be sad if there's a bunch of gum that I throw away today. It's worth it for the sake of tasting science, right? Moving right along, let's see what we pull out here next. So this says it is soda chewing candy. So bubble gum apparently is very popular in this pack, which means I'm not going to open this one up. If I can tell it's bubble gum, I think I'm going to save it for later. With how many pieces are in here, I don't think I was going to be able to eat them all anyways, so that'll be a convenient way to figure out what I'm not going to eat, right? So let's find out what our next surprise is. Our next surprise looks like another gummy. Yep, it's a gummy, and you can tell it's another Coca-Cola flavor. I don't know if I just lucked out on the Coca-Cola. I shouldn't say Coca-Cola. I should say just soda pop or something like that, because it's not name brand. But I've definitely got a lot of them in this packet. Here we've only eaten what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've eaten 7, pulled out 8, or pulled out 9, including this guy. And I would say, what was it? It's at least 3 now, Coke flavor things. Could be worse though. Could be fish flavor, right? And this definitely smells like soda pop. And it comes with this big old stretchy arm that you can kind of tear apart here. I've gotten one like this before in a munch pack, I believe. And if I was a young kid, I probably would sit there and like slap my sister with it, or depending on how young I was, I might slap the wall a couple of times to see if it sticks. These days, we try not to eat off the walls, so I'll resist the urge here. And I'm just going to pull off a little bit and try it. As far as being a gummy goes, it's kind of a tougher gummy than the other ones that we've had so far. Kind of more like a gummy bear. You know how they're very dense, but still pretty chewable. And you know, that generic soda pop flavor isn't bad, so can't really complain. But I am ready to try something different here. And this looks like it's gonna fit the bill. It's a bit larger than some of the other treats. And there's something silver in there. I don't know if that's just a silica packet or if that's like a flavor thing. Like, are you supposed to dip? Oh, it's squishy, like there's liquid in there. So this must be like a sauce packet, basically. And these are, they're like little thin wafers. So let's find out what the wafer's like first. Okay, it's a very simple, like rice cake type of deal. Very plain, not very sweet. And this, I'm just gonna have to assume it's meant to be like squeezed on. Don't think I cut enough here. Oh, now it's open. And that definitely, it looks like it's a syrup or something. Reminds me a little bit of like toaster strudels, where you had that packet that you would kind of design your icing on to your pastry, right? Oh, it smells. Oh gosh, what is that? Oh, that is like gosh, I don't know even. There's I think I got it in the Hawaiian box. I've tried a couple of different Hawaiian, like different regional boxes. So it could have been from the Hawaiian box, but there's like or it could have been a munch pack. But anyways, in the East, there's a treat, and I use the word treat roughly here. That's basically a salted plum. Like it's a plum preserved in salt. It's a popular, like, you know, scare your friends candy because it's definitely not palatable to the average Westerner. And I think that's what this sauce is it's the salty plum. So that is not something I'll be finishing later. We finally had an item that Whispering Whim is not going to eat and sugar rush herself on. Yeah, that was very... I'm still reacting to it. But it was entertaining, right? And I like rice cakes, even though this one's pretty not sweet. I may end up eating the little crackers separately. I'm a bit of a glutton when I let myself be, which is one of the reasons why I have to be so careful about dieting, right? But it's not like I'm doing this every week, right? So these, I won't open them up. I'll save them for later, but these are really tasty. They're rock candy. And the Western method to make rock candy is you would make a sugar solution, right? And you would stick something into that sugar solution, like a popsicle stick or a piece of string or whatever. And the sugar crystals will slowly grow on that object, right? Which leads it to be very, very kind of rough, right? It's definitely hard candy. Japan is known for these. I forget what they're called. But this is the candy that's on Grave of the Fireflies, if you've ever seen that sad, sad anime. I can't remember the name of it. But it's also rock candy. But the difference is that instead of waiting for a crystal to emerge kind of like in a geometric pattern, they take like a grain of sugar, like a whole grain of sugar, coarse, and then they roll it back and forth on the sugar solution. And the result is that it's still rock candy, but it's more chewable. You don't have to eat it like a lollipop. And they're really good. So I kind of want to eat them. But since I know what they are, and we still have many, many things to try, I'm going to go ahead and put them down for now. Who knows, if social distancing goes on long enough, maybe I'll just buy this packet all over again and try them later. Because it sounds like they changed the snacks a little bit, although they're mostly predictable. But on Amazon, there were actually many different types of packs. So there was this huge one, right? And I did buy it in a sense. I ordered it. But Amazon is prioritizing not essential orders first over, Japanese candy packs, right? And it was $60. I was like, that's too much. That really is too much. It was a huge impulse buy. I was just kind of feeling yucky that day. But they just, 2 days later, they still hadn't shipped it, so I canceled it. And I'm glad I did, because I got this one instead, right? And it's been delicious so far, and much, much cheaper. Back to the tasting here. We've got something that looks like maybe dried ramen. So a rice noodle type of snack. No English on there, so let's hope it's not a strange flavor. Oh, that's tasty. It's like almost beef flavor. Like, yeah, I think beef would be the closest approximation. It reminds me of like soup, kind of, even though this is hard, which I suppose that stands up to scrutiny when I think about it, since little ramen snacks like this probably mimic ramen, noodle flavors, right? It's very light. When I was a kid, there would be times when I would take the ramen, the dry ramen soup packs, and I would stick them in my lunch, and I'd just break them up and eat them like a snack. And I can remember that I loved doing that. The only thing was that they'd sometimes be a little bit too much of a crunch, and I had stronger teeth back then. But this has a nice crunch to it. I think it helps that the pieces are little, right? They're pretty thin and they're already ground down pretty well. Yeah, I really want to keep eating this. Like a lot. Once the camera is off, this may be the first thing that I finish, because it's delicious. And I haven't had lunch yet today. In fact, I was like thinking, lunch or candy pack? Lunch or candy pack? Because if I ate lunch, I'd have to wait a little bit, right? and the apartment is kind of on the quiet side today so far. And that's a rare sight, or a rare sound, as it were, because everybody's home, so sometimes people are noisy when they're home. Long story short, I decided not to do lunch, and I decided to do snack pack instead. Okay, so this is, I could recognize it a mile away. These are a corn puff snack, and there's a whole line of them. There's many, many, many flavors, so it's not, there's only like one that tastes like Cheetos. Everything else tastes different. Some of them are definitely better than others. But I love the corn snacks overall. There's a few bad flavors, but usually I like them. This one has, I want to say maybe a barbecue flavor to it. I don't know. I always like to do the smell guess first. Yep, that's if you took barbecue sauce and mixed that flavor, not necessarily the texture, but the flavor with like creamed corn, that is what you would end up here. And I know that probably wasn't a very tasty sounding description to most people, but I like it. I really like it. This is so exciting. So many tasty things today. I just want to eat all the things so far. Well, almost all the things. All right. Next up, this is kind of weird. It was in the packet like this. It was bent over. So this is a gel or gummy. I'm going to say somewhere in between a gel and a gummy as far as texture goes. If I whistle a little too many times today, I apologize. My front tooth here is getting worked on. Apparently my teeth did not wait for quarantine to be over, right? So I had a root canal done and I have a temporary on there. But the temporary is like this much longer than my regular tooth, so it kind of throws me off a little bit. But I'm going to get the permanent crown hopefully on Thursday. I say hopefully because we did the root canal because I had kind of a little blemish up on my gum line, but the dentist was a little nervous that the root canal wouldn't fix it. And if it doesn't fix it, I'm going to lose the tooth. Fingers crossed that I don't lose a tooth. But anyways, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about this jelly here that looks very disturbing and slightly phallic. I don't know what flavor that's supposed to be. Yeah, I definitely... What is that? Maybe it's lychee? Or maybe it's just flower blossom flavor. But it is pretty good. Not gonna lie. Another one of those items. I'm just gonna... Man, I don't know how I'm gonna make it through this video. I just want to eat everything. Maybe I should have had lunch. Okay. So this is another one of those corn snacks. This one looks like the cream of corn flavor, which I've had before. And in fact, it actually does say corn pottage on the bottom there. So it is cream of corn flavor, which is actually my favorite flavor. but I know what it tastes like. So I'm gonna put it off to the side and move on to something I haven't tried before. Next up, Pandaro. There we go. Pandaro snacks. They're little cookies. And I feel like I've gotten this before in a munch pack, but I don't remember exactly what it tastes like. I've got two flavors here. This one must be plain because it doesn't have any extra text. And this one is melon, it says up there, if you can tell by the green flavor. And the melon panda here is rather grumpy looking. So let's try him. And we'll put the other one away for me to eat when I'm not trying to do a video. The snack is a little broken up, so we won't be able to see his little face, unfortunately. They usually print the cookie with like a design. Definitely smells like cantaloupe. And it tastes like cantaloupe. It's one of those things. It does work. Like, I actually like the flavor, but because melon isn't a common dessert flavor, at least in my local area, and certainly not a cookie flavor, it's a little weird, but I like it. I guess I like weird things. Or maybe my Japanophile past keeps up with me. Next up, we have some hard candies here. Kupi Ramune. So these are probably going to be a little bit like Smarties, would be my guess. They look chalky and kind of has a similar, shape. Oh. Definitely Smartie-like, but they're easier to chew, which is a bonus, but they're also, I didn't think it was possible, but they're even more chalky. The like burst of powder kind of reminds me of eating like Tums, actually. That's exactly what it's like. It's like eating Tums. It's too bad there's no antacid in there. I probably will need it after I'm done with all of this. But we are making progress, so there is that. Next up, this says mini pour on it, which leads me to believe this is another soda pop flavor. And in fact, it has a cute little pull tab. It pops like soda. And they're little itty bitty candies here. Not even any color on them. And it is a soda flavor, but it's I don't know, like blue raspberry soda or something to that effect. Like there's still that flavor profile of a pop, but it's definitely more of a fruit kind of aftertaste to it. It's not bad, but not my favorite thing. Oh my. Oh, wow. I didn't think I'd see these kinds of things again. This is a pack of candy cigarettes. Most of it is not in English, except for one little warning up here that says, "We support your no smoking." So they don't want you to to blame them for getting the kids hooked on cigarettes. When I was younger, though, we used to take there's a candy shop that's kind of like one city away, or in between a city, another town, really. It's small towns in my area. But they would have the cigarettes there, and back then, when I was younger, people didn't really think twice about it. But my parents definitely smoked, and they let me buy these anyways, which, you know, just different times, I suppose. I don't really blame them for it, but it is surprising to see. This is a little different, though, than what I used to get as a kid. The ones that I got as a kid, yeah. Does it still do it? No. The ones that I got as a kid had like a paper wrapping, right? And there would be a bunch of powdered sugar in that wrapping, so you could, you know, puff it out and pretend you were really smoking. How awful. Like, when you're young, you just think you're being funny, or, you know, it's the same as playing grocery store or house or something, right? Except for it was with cigarettes. So you'd sit there and, yeah. Different times, man. Different times. But anyways, let's see what these at least taste like. Oh. A little more crunchy than I was expecting. A lot more crunchy. But the flavor is kind of on par with, what do they call those? There's a candy, a Western candy, where there's like powders, and then there's a white stick that you like lick and you dip it in the powders. I can't think of the name of it right off the bat, but this has almost an identical flavor to that stick, which is kind of funny because the stick was actually my favorite part. I enjoyed it way more than the little fruit powders. I was a weird kid. Let's go ahead and keep the ball rolling, though. Next up, we have a savory snack. Texas corn, it says on here, but then up here, it says fried chicken taste. So this is going to be a chicken flavored corn puff. Which I'm not entirely surprised that it exists, but at the same time, I'm a little nervous about eating it. Almost looks like maybe close to popcorn chicken. Maybe that's what they were trying for here. There is a hint of chicken flavor to it, but it's very, very subdued. And it kind of reminds me, okay, I guess that makes sense. It kind of looks like a chicken wings on the package here, right? It reminds me of the skin on regular chicken wings before you add a lot of sauce. Like if you were to just fry it and eat it as is. Yeah, it tastes like chicken skin more than just chicken. That's kind of bizarre. I'm not gonna lie, I might continue eating these just because I'm a weird person, but I can't say that I would directly recommend them. It's yeah, maybe I won't finish it. I can't tell. Can't tell. Oh, maybe all the sugar's just kicking in here. So we have, looks like some hard candies. And I suspect they're both soda flavored. This one actually says cola candy on it. And this one doesn't specify, but based on the kind of general look of it, it's probably, I'm going to guess this is the same flavor as this. Like a blue raspberry but soda pop type thing. And I think because I've had so many sodas, or at least soda flavored candies, I'm not going to try these today. Not only have I had a lot of soda candies, but also since these are hard, they're like, they're meant to be kind of left in the mouth for a while. I am going to save those for another day. Yeah, I think I'm a little maxed out on soda candy. And here we have another jelly, Japanese jelly, and it's a smaller pack. It's got little bubble designs on it, so it could honestly be that soda flavor again, that blue raspberry soda. But I really like the jellies, so I'm gonna give this a try. It does look disturbing though every time. Okay, it's kind of like just raspberry flavored. Not like specifically the almost minty soda flavor, but just plain old raspberry, I think. Actually, if I were to really put a name to it, I would say that it tastes like cotton candy, like blue raspberry cotton candy maybe, but more sugary than flavor, kind of indistinct, but it's pretty tasty, not gonna lie. This pack has definitely been worth its weight in entertainment value. For $19, I really can't complain, honestly. This has been a lot of fun. So these things I pulled out, I thought they'd be the same kind of thing, which is why I pulled them out together, but they're clearly different. So this is Japanse. That might mean for it to say champagne. But there's like a W in there. So it's either like Champagne or maybe that's the English for champagne. I'm not sure. But anyways, it says sparkling soft drink tablet. So these are like basically Alka-Seltzer tablets, but hopefully they shouldn't taste like medicine. It kind of has that generic blue flavor that so many of these like Coca-Cola drinks are. So this must be that base flavor, that soda flavor of the blue soda candies. And when I first started reading the description, I was like, I'll save that for later. But I'm going to try it. We'll put this one down, and I'm going to go get a glass of water. I'll be right back. All right, I am back with my glass of water here that I will ever so gently balance on my knee like an idiot. We're going to open this up. Yep, that is the same basic smell as all of the, I don't know, I have to describe it as like fruity Coke flavored candies, right? They definitely pop right in like an Alka-Seltzer. And we got some fuzzy action going on. doesn't sound too strong. I was expecting more of like a bubble, bubble, bubble noise to add to our ASMR experience here. And that is just fizzing away. I'm going to give it a minute here because it's not a very vibrant reaction, although actually it's starting to pick up some steam now. There might be enough flavor in there to taste. Let's give it a go. Right now, it's mostly just sour water, which actually I kind of like sour water. I make lemon water, at home to kind of keep me from drinking worse things. But let's go ahead. I'm going to set this down and give it a chance to dissolve for a little bit, right? And while that is doing its thing, we'll go ahead and we'll jump to this guy that I pulled out at the same time. And there's a lot of I don't know, little star dudes that look like they're maybe exploding or very shocked at something. So this may be like a Pop Rocks kind of a deal. And that's kind of peculiar. There's actually two. It's hard to show the camera here. There's two different kinds of candy pieces in here. This definitely looks like a standard Pop Rock type of deal, but I don't know what those are. So this should be interesting. Pop Rock. And quite potent, actually. Far more poppy than I was expecting, considering I only put in just the barest handful there. The round disc things, the white pieces, they're just hard candies. I don't know why they're in there. But the Pop Rocks are fun. I definitely ate a lot of Pop Rocks when I was younger. And like most of this bag, they have that vague soda pop kind of a flavor. So let's jump back to our water here to clean out all that poppy goodness. It is pretty much dissolved now. There's a little bit of the disc still floating at the bottom there, but it's much more blue now. It's actually a very pretty color. I like the color. It's ever so slightly carbonated. Definitely less so than a soda pop from a can would be. And I would have to say it's probably like a blue raspberry flavor, but it has, I'll have to find out what that is. There's something else to it. It doesn't taste just like raspberry. That could be because it's like an artificial flavor. So my brain is like, there's something else there. It's probably what it is, but it's not bad. And I was kind of thirsty anyways, so we're gonna call that a win. Oh man. We're almost to the end here, which is good because I'm starting to get a little worn out. All the talking and using my self-control to not eat the things that interest me the most. Anyways, next is a big old fishy cookie. I'm pretty sure I've had these before, but they're like a nice light wafer cookie. And I love wafer cookies, so we're gonna give this a try here. My camera so rudely decided to die while I was eating this little fish snack here, which tragically does mean I get to try it again here. But it also means that I gotta be quick for the rest of this video. The surrounding neighbors are starting to turn on their TVs and stuff, so let's quickly get through here. These little fish snacks are just delicious. I've had them before, and if you've watched my old tasting videos, you know that I love wafer cookies. And this has a very satisfying wafer bit, and then it also has a nice soft chocolate inside. It's kind of like, it's not puffy. It's a solid chocolate, but there's lots of air bubbles in it. So it almost reads in your mouth like eating a pudding more than a solid chocolate bar. And it is very, very good. But we have so many more things still to look at that I'm going to jump into the next one here. This guy has, unfortunately, a little tear in the packaging. So I don't feel like I'm going to try it, but it looks cool. And maybe it's good that I don't eat everything that's in here. Next up is a little mochi snack. This one looks like it is grape flavored, and I've had these before. I should probably skip it so I can get to the end of this video, but I can't resist. Mochi is kind of like a gummy, not exactly. It's made from the starches inside rice, and that's a very crinkly package. And this guy comes with a little toothpick so you can stab your mochi, although I think you could just as easily pull it out of there and munch on it, right? And it's this one's a lot sweeter and denser than what I am normally used to. And the grape flavor is there. And it could be that I've had too many different flavors today, but it's actually not as delicious as I was hoping it would be. It might be my sign to finish up this video. So many signs. You can kind of hear my neighbor upstairs talking or watching television. So we're just going to do one more, even though there are 3 more treats. We have another gummy, and it says cider. So whatever that blue soda pop flavor is, it's very popular. It's in many different forms. And then we have a little hard candy here. I don't know what flavor it was supposed to be. The black packaging makes me kind of nervous, but let's go ahead and give it a try. I have skipped most of the hard candies, so it's probably worth giving one of them a go, right? It is, ooh, it's sour enough to hurt. It's kind of got like like maybe baking powder or something in it. It's almost effervescent, but not quite. It's weird. I'm pretty sure it's making bubbles, but they're really tiny bubbles. And they almost hurt, which is kind of bizarre. It's kind of another soda flavor, I would say. And now that I pulled it out, I can almost see it trying to bubble. So there's something in there to kind of mimic carbonation, without being like a pop rock type of thing. It's more fine than that. Um, it's it's weird, and I'm weird because I just want to keep eating it. Our last item is another soda gummy. This one looks like it's supposed to be grape soda flavor. And we're gonna skip it because I have had enough sugar for one day. And I really do need to wrap up this recording session here. So naturally, that means a couple of shout outs, right? We're at the end of the video. And I'm gonna cheat. I usually try to memorize the names beforehand, but then I noticed that I often say the names of like my very consistent commenters, and there's definitely a variety of people. So we're gonna shout out to Ern Del Skalinsky, maybe. My computer's kind of far off, so I can't read properly here. Chubarina Whispers and Kendra Tyson are all people who commented on my last video. So thank you so much for watching. I hope everybody is staying safe out there and finding ways to also stay sane in this weird world situation that we're encountering right now. And I wish you guys all the best. I'll see you again real soon, okay? Until then, have a good night. Bye.